Hi everyone, for my project I did gene-edited farm animals, and this is just going to be my proposal for the topic. So I'm going to start off with what it is, just to clarify it more. So gene editing is where scientists manipulate the genetic material of an organism. In the case of farm animals, it is done to change the genetic materials of these animals by deleting or changing the coding in the embryos to create one that is improved and perfect each time. Gene editing has been known to be a little bit of a controversial issue. That's because there's a lot of factors that play a role in it. One of them being is that there are a lot of unknowns and concerns about how it can turn out. And there's a lot of room for error when it comes to this, including modifying the genes too much or changing the animals in a way that it will not survive. And in an article in a recent study by Briggs, they talked about how, while effective in the lab, the process is less than perfect and can cut out too much DNA. Then unwanted edits could alter other important genes. And also, there's a lot of regulation, safety concerns, and skepticism from the public about if this could actually be a good or bad thing. So it kind of goes like, it could be good, it could be bad. Also, potential applications for gene editing technology include genetically hornless cows and pigs or chickens that are resistant to diseases. And this is like one of the things that would like make it good, like the animals would be resistant to diseases, and um because they are already taking the horns off of the cows, then the cows don't have to go through a process after they're born called burning or cutting off their horns. Um, and gene editing can even modify the gender of an animal. And for cattle, the goal would be to produce more males since they're bigger and would provide more meat. And this would impact the balance of the cattle because then there would be more males produced than females, and that is also like why it's a little bit concerning. There are a lot of factors that take a role in why gene editing is a thing and like why it's happening. And gene editing started to become tested with farm animals in the hopes of improving food production. It can take genes from prize animals with good genetics and transfer them into the future generations. So all of the good qualities that came from one generation can be passed down through more generations. And Briggs also said in his article that this can have a major impact on addressing food insecurities around the world. If we can tackle this genetically, then that means less water, less feed, and fewer antibiotics we have to put into the animals. So it's basically saying that it would make it a lot more inexpensive to raise and take care of animals, and it would provide better food for everyone in general. And it can even help bring back endangered species by taking the genetic makeup of those animals and transferring them into other animals to produce more of them. Um, and it can be a good thing because it can make animals virus resistant, heat tolerant, and fatter and more muscular. So, like more meat on less animals. And also, as I mentioned earlier, for bulls, it can take away a procedure called disbudding, which is where the horns are burned or cut off. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about, just for my proposal, is if anything is actually being done, like if this is actually happening in real life. And currently, it's only being tested in labs, and this is because it is yet to be approved for human consumption because of concerns for animal welfare and the safety of it. We don't really know how the animals are really being impacted by changing their genes, at least not yet. And there are a lot of unknowns and concerns about how this can turn out. And there's also a lot of room for error when it comes to this, including modifying the genes too much or changing the animals in ways that it will not survive. So there's still a lot of moving parts and a lot of pieces that stop it from being a for sure thing and something that is actually 100% being done currently.